about Vanderbilt's performance in the Paradise Jam? We'll get to that in just a second. Let's start with Chattanooga. They're going through a bit of a rough stretch. If they want to get back on track, it's going to take someone that Vanderbilt knows all too well.
Yes, Abby Cornelius. She had her career high of blocks with 5 last year against Vanderbilt, and also had a career high 18 rebounds last night against UAB. She had 20 points, but she also got in foul trouble, so they're going to need to keep her out of that trouble if they're going to be successful tonight.
Let's turn the page to Vanderbilt. Speaking about the Paradise Jam, how about the performance of freshman Ayanna Moore?
Yes, in the last game against DePaul, she had 13 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 steals, which will be key since UTC is known for turning over the basketball. So that's something. You saw Coach Burrows walking back out to the court just then, looking at the stat sheet, and you know she is not happy seeing 27 points scored off of those turnovers. Vanderbilt has really been capitalizing on their defense, turning that into points tonight.
A lot of different people have been very...
Renee Alexander, she has been knocking down shots. Got slowed down a little bit in that second quarter, but she was really lethal in that first quarter. And you can't ignore Jordan Cambridge. She has just been stealing the ball on the outside and transitioning that into points for the Commodores.
And 5 steals, some share of turnovers as well in that first half.
That's something that you know Coach Shea Ralph was talking to her team about in the locker room during halftime, is we can't go back to that. They've been doing so well limiting their turnovers in the last few games.
In that ball game.
Yes, Kennedy Gavin, she just absolutely led the way for the Gamecocks. She had 17 points that game, and Coach Petrie said that she really stepped up in that number 5 spot, especially since they lost 3 of their starters from last season.
Here on the SEC Network Plus, Vanderbilt last non-conference game before heading off to College Station, Texas to take on the Aggies. Again, that defensive identity starting to click even more.
Yes, they have definitely found their identity, which is what they needed to do headed into conference play, since they will be outsized with playing against those SEC caliber teams that they have been able to they're going to be able to match up a little bit better now that they have been able to turn that defense into offense and creating some plays for themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
And you see a 3 right here. Jacksonville State has not been scared to shoot from deep, but Renee Alexander has been absolutely incredible today. She's leading the way with 12 points in the first half and really been what has started the Vanderbilt offense.
The bottom stat, though, that's also been a major factor.
It has been a major factor, and that could be because of both teams playing so aggressively and mishandling the ball a little bit, just because they are so aggressive right now and moving so quickly.
Well, give the good stuff in that first half.
Yes, both of them have been absolutely on fire, really in that second quarter. In the first quarter, the offense was a little scrambled, but then in the second quarter, the buckets were just falling for them.
Again, it's like you said, Alabama State, a team that is just struggling to put the puzzle pieces together so far this season.
Yes, they've really struggled to get the same ladies out there to start the ball game for them. They've been losing players all season. They have 7 players out tonight, a handful of those due to COVID protocols, 2 of those being their leading scorers for this season.
If Alabama State can put the puzzle pieces together, they've got a chance for success. They were picked to finish second in the SWAC. Now back to Vanderbilt and a team coming off that good St. Joseph's victory once again. Sammy, the formula was the same.
Yes, they have really found their identity in the defense, whether it's in the press or half-court pressure. They've really been putting teams pressure on the ball and trapping teams.
And so much of that has to do with the spark plug that is Jordan Cambridge. Here from Nashville, first shot by Alexander is good. And Vanderbilt takes a 2-0 advantage to start things off.
Yes, already driving in quick. You've been seeing them do a lot of that in these recent games, really driving in, putting the ball up and getting those easy buckets.
Other starting 5 for UTC. The best players in the conference, but the country, Asia Blackwell.
Yes, Asia Blackwell, the 6-foot junior. She's going to be hard to beat on the glass. She's first in D1 in rebounds, averaging 13 per game, averaging 17 points per game. She's going to be really hard for Vanderbilt to limit tonight.
Listed as a guard, she has fantastic size, 6 foot, and she has gone. The schedule got more difficult, and things, as mentioned, have hit that speed bump.
Yes, they did win that first game against Arkansas, but they're now on a 3-game losing streak. Their defense is their identity. Head coach Shay Ralph, she has harped on that over and over. But what adjustments will they be able to make tonight to find a way to win?
Player, but Vanderbilt kept the pace of this game exactly where they needed to.
Yes, they were definitely trying to keep it a slower pace game. They learned their lesson from LSU, and that's something they did really well in the first half of this game so far. So something to continue to watch how they're able to do that in the second half.
And look, pace of play is by meaning that everything is suppressed from a scoring standpoint. Here's your first half statistics.
Yes, and it's actually kind of surprising that Vanderbilt is shooting the ball better right now. Just a little bit, 42% to 38%, but they are shooting the ball a little bit better than Missouri, which Missouri, going into this game, you've said it a couple times, they are a very good shooting team, really good three-point shooting team. And you've had a few players that are in foul trouble that are sitting on the bench right now, which is probably a big factor in that, but that's something that they're going to have to continue to limit and really get under Missouri's skin, which you saw them doing in that second quarter with the aggression, the toughness that Vanderbilt plays.
In the second half, those turnovers change in a big way for both sides.
You know that Coach Shay Ralph has to be happy right now, seeing only 6 turnovers. That's less than usual for Vanderbilt, so they're moving in the right direction, something that she's going to want to see, especially in this third quarter. She harps a lot on third quarter. So something she'll be looking at for the second half.
It's 14th in the SEC in turnovers per game for Vanderbilt at 25 rebounds. We keep underscoring that, 25 rebounds to 8 so far for Vandy.
Absolutely incredible that they've been playing so well. That was something that Coach Ralph was worried about with their height, but they've been able to box out and bring those down and then convert that into points and even get second chances on the other end of the court.
Translates directly 24 points. Authoritative and dominance over Auburn.
Yes, Auburn went on a 7-0 run, and this game has really switched. They have been absolutely dominant. Vanderbilt has this first half, and turnovers has been the name of the game. Both teams have turned the ball over a lot, but Vanderbilt has really played into what they do best, is their defense, and relying on their defense and turning that into points in the first half.
Again, Auburn was able to knock down a couple of shots in the first, again, 2 minutes. Big rebound there, brought in by Demi Washington.
That was one statistic that also was very different than Tuesday night. The rebounds were almost even for both teams tonight, where Vandy really was pulling down the ball. They were boxing out well and getting majority of those rebounds in their first game.
And 1 block.
Yes, they've had 14 points off of Vandy's 12 turnovers in this first half. That's one thing that Coach Ralph really harped on before the game, is they cannot have as many turnovers this game as they did on Tuesday night, and they already have 12 just in the first half.
Matchup.
Yes, a lopsided win by Vandy, taking it 97-58, and that was led by Briley Bartram, who had 23 points that game. She will be starting tonight. It'll be interesting to see who steps up also with her. And you really could not have asked for more from the senior. She had 20 points, 7 rebounds. Those 20 points only 4 short of her career high of 24 points. And she was an absolute leader on Tuesday night against Gardner-Webb. And that's somebody that you can really expect to step up tonight against the Trojans.
Also, I saw a good performance by Jordan Cambridge.
Yes, they've had 9 different players start for them so far this season. They're having to rely on freshmen like Paige Kinseth. They really have that next man-up mentality. And tonight, they're going to be without Jade Compton, a huge loss for Presbyterian on the offensive side of the ball.
Now, she is the top scorer on this team, unavailable for this ball game. We're talking about for the Blue Hose, maybe 8 players available here tonight for Vandy. As mentioned, the identity is starting to crystallize because of Jordan Cambridge.
Yes, Jordan Cambridge really embodies what this team is trying to make as their identity. She's aggressive on the defensive side, giving them a chance on the offensive side of the ball. And you can see against Albany, she had 10 steals. She's just been very aggressive getting the ball back to them.
As a team, yes.
And that's one thing Coach Foley said that he really tries to do, is stack the beginning of this season with some SEC matchups, because he knows that's the caliber of teams that he's going to be facing in the NCAA tournament. And so this is just the first of those 5. And they're handling it pretty well tonight.
Huge difference so far between tonight and what Vanderbilt was able to do offensively. It's like they're starting to find their identity.
Yes, they have been really pressing the ball, which has really helped them find their identity in the half court, and that press has been leading to how they transition, moving their arms around a whole lot, being very aggressive and leading to transition points.
22 turnovers that they forced against the Kansas Jayhawks. And some of these numbers right here, you're talking about